While I go now to my reporter, Natasha Phiri, who is currently outside the JSE, and she is joined by the EFF's Floyd Shivambu. Natasha, thank you so much for your time this afternoon. If you can hear me, of course, we know that the CBD was very quiet, this afternoon and this morning. Talk to us about what is happening there now, and why is Mr. Shivambu there?
Convention Center, and we've now moved, like you've correctly cited, to the JSE. Apologies about that. I couldn't hear you quite clearly, but we're still following the Deputy President here of the EFF, Mr. Floyd Shivambu, as well as the leadership here of the EFF in the province, namely the Provincial Secretary, Moshe Kom. And of course, we are flanked by EFF members here. We'll just ask them how, they deem this day. As you've heard, he said earlier on that this march was quite a success. Mr. Shivambu, you've now moved to this location. How are things? You've deemed this protest as a success so far.
No, look, we are doing very well. It's so far so good. We've got very disciplined ground forces of the EFF. We moved from Alexander and into Sandton, went to Convention Center. We're now at the Johannesburg Stock Exchange to also send a very strong message that the demands that we had given to the JSE in the 2015 March are still relevant up to this day. But also to tell the JSE listed companies that their puppet Ramaphosa is a problem to this country and he must resign as soon as yesterday. So the JSE and all these listed companies must know that we're making a demand that Cyril Ramaphosa must step down as the head of state and president of South Africa, because he has failed this country in a dismal way. He has got no direction. He has got no willingness to solve our crisis. Everything else under him is collapsing. So our protest action is going very well. People were too quick to claim that it's a flop, it's not going to happen. But now we've demonstrated that we've got the power. Cyril Ramaphosa told businesses and everyone else that today is a normal day. He told them that they must open their businesses. He's going to protect them. And the Commander-in-Chief said that today all businesses must be closed. And all businesses listen to the Commander-in-Chief of the Economic Emancipation Movement. Maybe soon he must become the real Commander-in-Chief of the armed forces of South Africa, because that is what he deserves, not this clown of Ramaphosa who is in office now. So we must then now repeat again, wherever he is, Cyril Ramaphosa must step down as a matter of urgency. We want to save this country and take it to a proper direction. This is our country. It's not a country of the ANC. It's not a country of Cyril Ramaphosa.
Your reaction to, apparently there's a letter that you just issued through your spokesperson, Sinawo Tambo, saying that the management of Transnet had told EFF members that they can no longer give them buses because the Minister of Transport had actually threatened them.
Look, there have been so many bus companies that were intimidated from providing transport services to ground forces of the EFF who wanted to attend the mass protest actions, particularly the one that is being led by the Commander-in-Chief in Tshwane. And the EFF had actually paid for some of these buses. And then the Ministry of Transport illegally instructed them to say that they must not transport anyone to an activity of the EFF, and which is unlawful, because this protest action that we're engaged in is not an illegal activity. This is not an illegal gathering. It's a gathering that is protected by the Constitution. We've got a right to interact with anyone. We can hire buses from anyone if we want to do that, to come to a legitimate and legal protest action. But the Minister of Transport has now intimidated bus companies to say that they must not transport anyone. And they utilize this subsidy which they give to bus companies. And then these bus companies as well got to be covered. We're going to follow up on that. They must bring back the money that we have paid them, but also we must take further action against them. We must take action as well against this useless minister who has just arrived in office and already is instructing buses to take illegal actions, to do unlawful, unconstitutional things. So that has been happening, and because it's the desperation of a government that has got no legitimacy amongst the people. It's utilizing the coercive power of the state. That is why it has got more than 3,000 soldiers all over, spending more than 100 million, actually more than 160 million, to try to intimidate South Africans from protesting. Where have you seen that you deploy soldiers to stop a legitimate political protest that is calling for the resignation of the head of state? This is intimidation, and it must not be allowed. So Ramaphosa and his puppets is so desperate to try to suppress the EFF. He will never succeed. He has never succeeded before. He will never succeed in the future, even now today.
Lastly, where to from now? And I know you guys are planning to go to ESCOM. Will you actually eventually get there? But also, what time does this protest actually end? Is it 12 p.m. Will it be 12 p.m.? And furthermore, how can you assure South Africans that going on throughout the evening, everything will be safe and there won't be any violence?
So the 20th of March 2023 is a national shutdown. So it's not business as usual. So the day is not going to go as normal. Already it's half the day now. It's in the afternoon. A lot of businesses have not been operating, so things have not been going as normal. It's not a normal day, which Ramaphosa said is going to be. It's a different day. And we are the ones who are enforcing a national shutdown as the economic freedom fighters. So as per this section of the protest, we are going to now go to the head office of ESCOM to go and reiterate our demand for electricity to come back. Remember, at the center of the two major demands out of this protest is the return of electricity. We want electricity to come back. So we can't just go to Sandton City and the JSE and not go to ESCOM head office. So our final destination today is the ESCOM head office to say to whoever has got the power there that they must stop this thing of switching electricity on and off. Yes. They must just switch it on permanently. We want electricity permanently. This thing of switching electricity on and off must come to an end. That is the message that we're going to deliver when we go to ESCOM today. So the struggle goes